a fiend most foul, is challenging us to a massive, big challenge, stealing things, whatever. All right. Shades of Sylvie. Ellie would share with you a shocking new turn in the Phantom Thief case. Except, hold on. I'm going to decline that real quick. What do I have in my inventory? Oh yeah, the wind-up Ultros. A fraction of the size, yet every bit as annoying as the real thing. Be forewarned. Once Ultros shows up, he's liable to stick around. We're going to use that. Oh yeah, I got the Ultros minion because I'm pretty sure everyone else has it already. Let's take a look how cute it is. That is suitably cute and creepy at the same time. Alright, also I have Ultros and Typhon. Oh, I already have that card. Alright. I was wondering when you'd showed up, Jake. I hope you haven't made any plans for the day, because we've got a situation on our hands. Remember our good friend, the Phantom Thief? Well, it seems he's decided to branch out from burglary to cold-blooded murder. If the rumors are to be believed, he's claimed 3 victims already, all influential members of Uldan's society. Mr. Manyfaces has been kind enough to leave one of his signature calling cards at every scene, leaving no doubt as to the identity of the murderer. The message is always the same. The weight of 5 corpses will bring the scales of justice to balance. More riddles. Not that you'll hear me complaining. No, the only thing my readers like more than a good mystery is a good murder mystery. Ever since the story broke, the Mithril's Eye's been selling like Pond's cakes. Where's a mini Tonberry to stab it when you need one? I think that's an actual minion. I don't think I have it, though. I'll have to check. The only rub is that it's left to me no time to look into the thief's last message. Until now, that is. Shall we, Jake? The hidden treasure of Ulda, was it? If there's anyone who can shed some light on this, it's you-know-who. To Sunsilk Tapestries! Yeah, let me just check my minions real quick. I don't believe I have a Tonberry. I have a Cactar. Nope, I don't have a Tonberry. Here's an Onion Knight from, I think, Final Fantasy III. Param, Kane, Bartz, Kidragora, Gilgamesh, Wind-Up Leader, who for me is Merlvid because I'm currently aligned with the Maelstrom. And she Naruto runs everywhere. It's amazing. Alright, speak with Wyman near Sunsilk Tapestries. That's going to be right across from here. But I think I know where to find a minion for that's a Tonberry. I'm willing to guess it's going to be in the Wanderer's Palace, which is a really high-level dungeon. I say high-level dungeon, but really it's just... where is it? Where is it? Do I not have the Wanderer's Palace? That's all... Oh, that's all trials. It's right here. This one that I haven't done. Decades of Cobalt mining, blah, 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 blah. Where's the word Tonberry? Where's the word Tonberry? I'm pretty sure this is the one with Tonberries, but that's a dungeon. That's not my concern today. Because today is all about finishing off these quests. For a reason that, well, you'll see why. Wyman! Sup, buddy? Well, now, if it ain't my favorite venturer, and my favorite Mithril Eye reporter along with them. Tell me, what have I done to deserve the pleasure of your company today? I see. As much as I would like to help 2 of my best mates, I'm afraid you found old Wyman at a loss. Ulda has more than its fair share of treasures. That person just disappeared out of nowhere. Must have logged out. Fair share of treasures, hidden and otherwise. I reckon our phantom friend could be after just about any of them. I can tell you this much, though. Whatever that thief's got his eyes on, it's got the Sultan sworn in a right dither. Word has it they've formed a regiment of their best and brightest to safeguard the royal vaults from this very threat. The Sultan sworn aren't like to be forthcoming with information, but it's the only lead we've got. Come on, Jake. I say it's time we paid a visit to the Heart of the Sworn. I almost read that as Heart of the Swarm, which, yeah. Oi, hold up there, Ellie. I ain't generally the worrying type, but you may want to think twice before getting yourself involved in this. A man in my business develops a nose for danger, and this time the stench is something fierce. You're a reporter, Ellie, and a fine one at that. Don't put that pretty neck of yours at risk trying to play hero. Your concern is touching, but I can assure you I am ready for whatever dangers lie ahead. Besides, being a reporter is about more than selling papers. I have a duty to seek out the truth and convey it to the people. Come on, Jake. Time is of the essence here. Alright, you know what? I need to do something dumb and stupid. Ninja. Let's Naruto run together! Ninja is very weeb, for better or for worse. Alright, Scholar's Walk. That's going to be this way. Alright, enough of the shenanigans. Let's swap back to Bard. I need to head to wherever the nearest aetheryte crystal thing is. Oh, look, it's right over here. Aethernet. We need to go to Hustings Strip, which is right in front of the Alchemist Guild. Alright. Yeah, I gotta say, the Alchemist storyline up to level 50 is interesting. Probably one of the better stories that this game tries to tell with its side story stuff. So somewhere around here, there's a person I gotta talk to, or a thing I gotta see, or hey, would you look at that? It's something I gotta talk to or see. Allie? Where have I seen this man before? Oh yeah, I think... maybe I know what it is, but that's also like goldsmith questing stuff, but never mind. What up? Halt! Only authorized personnel are allowed in. Thal, bugger me with a broadsword! It's a gentleman of light's adventuring companion, and that catty but cute reporter from the Mithril Eye. Well, well, if it isn't the self-styled warrior of light, tell me, what tall tales did you spin to the Sultan Sworn recruiter to land yourself in this position? Oh, only the 12's honest truth, miss. Seeing the gentleman of light standing tall and triumphant that day, it moved me to the depths of me soul like. I vowed to put aside my sketchy past and serve the realm just like my hero, Master Hildibrand. The Sultan Sworn were impressed with my commitment and my sword arm, and they gladly welcomed me into their ranks. Wait, don't tell me. You've come to assist Master Hildibrand in his investigation, haven't you? Cor, why didn't you say so sooner? It's the least I could do to help the mates who united me with my role model. You'll be wanting to speak with Phyllis. She's one of the Sworn's best, and something of a history buff, it seems. When she heard the thief was targeting the 4 relics of Balladia, she personally stepped forward and volunteered to lead the investigation. If anyone has the information you're looking for, it'd be her. Wait here while I get her. I can trust you not to touch anything, aye? A pleasure to meet you, Phyllis. My name is Ellie, from the Mithril Eye. As you may have heard, we're researching the Phantom Thief case and would appreciate any information that may shed light on recent events. The pleasure is mine, Miss Ellie, and if I'm not mistaken, that would make your companion friend here one Jake Ullenberg, yes? Yep, that's me. You know Jake? As any regular reader of the Mithril Eye would, I must confess to being something of an unabashed fan of your work. Though it hardly befits my station to say this, I was secretly hoping that you would show up to assist in the investigation. Doubtless the inspector, too, will always welcome a helping hand. The Sultan Sworn, the elite of Uldah's elite. I can only hope they prove more competent than the bungling mercenaries I've dealt with thus far. As someone who's done the Paladin questline, like all the way to until the end of Heaven's Word, we'll see. Inspector Briardian, always one step ahead of us. Miss Ellie, Jake, a moment, if you would. Right then, very good. Now, face me and don't move an ilm. Inspector, what is that in your... Demasking dust, a formula of my own devising that will allow us to see right through the thief's disguises. Analyzing the mask left behind at Vesper Bay, I was able to identify its composition and synthesize a counter-agent that would dissolve the disguise whilst leaving the wearer's face intact. In any event, it would appear the two of you are indeed who you appeared to be. Brilliant, Inspector. The Phantom Thieves pulled the wool over our eyes for the last time. I fear it won't be so simple. The ingredients necessary to produce the dust are exceedingly rare. Even with the entire resources of the Sultan Sworn at our disposal, we were only able to produce a limited supply. I see. Well, I suppose it's better than nothing. That said, have you been able to identify the thief's next target? A hidden treasure of Uldah, the last of the 4 lost relics of Balladia. I fear not. I've poured through the histories time and time again. But the only mention of these 4 relics is a vague reference in an old prophecy. Most serious scholars considered it little more than a fairy tale. When darkness falls and hope fades to despair, 4 warriors born of light shall descend in the righteous glare. That sounds awfully Final Fantasy I, doesn't it? The legend goes on to describe 4 sacred artifacts, one each possessed by these 4 Balladian heroes, but make no mention as to their appearance or nature. 3 times we have tried to identify the thief's target, and 3 times has he foiled us by making off with something else entirely. Needless speculation will only play to the fiend's strengths. All artifacts of Baladian origin have been sealed within the royal vault, and a regiment of our finest assigned to its protection. I have furnished all the guards with a supply of demasking dust, and instructed them to be on the lookout for any suspicious personages. The Blackguard will be in chains before he can lay a dirty hand on the vault doors, let alone the treasure within. You have our word, milady. Bows, bows, so many bows. But there are even more disturbing matters at hand. Doubtless you have heard of the recent rash of murders perpetrated by our quarry. The Sultan Sworn have launched an investigation, but the truth of the matter is that we have been far too occupied with the defense of the vaults to make any meaningful progress. We would be most grateful for any assistance you could offer. A lady asks, and a gentleman answers! There he is! Cast all worry from your heart, milady. Hildibrand, agent of inquiry, inspector extraordinaire, has arrived to set right what is wrong and bring the wicked to justice. And this must be the demasking dust that is the talk of the palace. Ah, but you need not waste your supply on me, Inspector. I assure you that I am exactly who I claim to be. Ashamed that. Inspector Hildibrand, we were not expecting you, but your services are most welcome. I will share all I know about the recent murders. The killer has claimed 3 victims thus far: the head of a publishing consortium, a high-ranking government official, and an influential scholar. Other than that, they were all influential figures in their respective circles. We can identify no common threads connecting the 3. Oh ho! This will prove a most satisfying case to crack indeed. And what of the methods of killing? Conked over the head with a cudgel? Gutted with a greatsword? Strangled with a sublugar, mayhap? Oh, gods, no. I'm afraid we've identified no pattern. In any event, the murder plot's the death of 2 more even as we speak. We must take action, and quickly. Understood, milady. Clues may be scarce, but worry not. My realm-renowned powers of deduction are more than up to the task. I will see this burglar turned butcher delivered to justice. Your presence is heartening indeed, Inspector Hildibrand. Friends, please take this demasking dust with you. I fear we can spare but a single sachet, but I trust you will put it to good use. Alright, speak with Hildibrand. First I want to speak with the other fellows. Phyllis. On behalf of the Sultan Sworn, your assistance with the murder investigation is greatly appreciated. Leave the defense of the royal vault to us. Humphrey. The Gentleman of Light, in the flesh. Hells, he's every bit as muscular and majestic as I remembered. Ellie! He may have 1,000 faces, but with Inspector Briardian's demasking dust, the masquerade will soon be over. Nashu has nothing to say. Hildibrand! Come to accompany me on yet another case, friend. I like your gusto, but if you're auditioning to be my assistant, I fear that role has already been filled most ably. Still, a gentleman welcomes the support of all his admirers. I shall henceforth name you thusly, Jake, my ever-loyal associate. Good enough. And now, my ever-loyal associate, the investigation calls. I propose that we begin by inspecting the site at which the most recent victim met his demise. My questioning about the palace has revealed that the scholar's body was found not far from the 80 sins of Sasamu. Even the most circumspect of criminals cannot help but leave behind clues. Clues that will not elude my gaze. Friends, let us be off. Pray alert me should you see anyone suspicious, my ever-loyal associate. We must put Miss Phyllis's demasking dust to good use. Alright, looks like we're heading out to Western Thanlin. Here we go. This way. Oh, someone's fighting a giant tortoise. Wow, that went down quick. Flowers. How intriguing. Interesting.
flowers? Yes, it is all becoming clear now. Our phantom killer is a florist who, in his hurry to escape, carefully mislaid his wares.
Just what do you think you're doing? Huh? Huh? I'm the one who put those flowers there, huh? To honor the memory of me poor boy. You dare defile his memory, huh? Huh?
1,000 pardons, my lady. Please accept my most sincere condolences on your loss. I am Hildibrand, Agent of Inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire. I swear to you on my own dear mother's name that your son's killer will be brought to justice. As I was just saying, these flowers were clearly placed here by the family of the deceased, which can only mean...
Leave this place. Run away while you still can. Run far, far away. Run, or he'll turn you into a zombie, just like my poor, poor boy. A living person turned into a zombie? Nonsense. Not nonsense, my boy. History! Or have you not heard of the horrors of Sildi? Aye, Uldah's sibling nation against which we waged wars centuries ago. Much blood was shed by both sides, aye, but I speak of far greater horrors than death. An unholy draught brewed by a Sildan alchemist, one with the power to turn the living to the undead, that his nation might command an army of mindless, deathless soldiers, the traitors spurned. They turned my poor boy into a heap of rotten flesh and ran him through. But you won't hear that from the Sultan sworn. Thal alone knows why, but they whisked the body away before I could so much as pay me last respects. The traitor spurn? I've heard the stories, but I never thought them true. To be able to procure such a frightening thing, just who are we dealing with here? A Sildan, I'm sure of it. Aye, only a Sildan would know the recipe. The last remnants of Sildi died 4 centuries ago, you say? Yeah. Oh, they did. Yeah. He calls himself the Phantom Thief, he does. But did it ever occur to you that he might be an honest-to-God's phantom? Eh? Heard the tales from my own great-great-grandma, I did, about the 4 relics of Baladia and the powers they hold. The power to exact justice. The specter of Sildi has returned to wreak vengeance on us. Woe, woe unto us all! Have the 4 warriors of light forsaken us? My dear boy, if only you'd become a traitor like your father, if only you'd kept your nose out of those history books and never so much breathed the accursed name of Sildi. But you did, and now we're doomed! 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 Cough. That was weird. And no one has a word to say. Okay, sure. That bleeding horse is here somewhere. I can feel it in me follicles. Oh, look! The most potent hair tonic the realm has seen. Aye, that it was for all of a fortnight before my flowing locks fell out all over again. And just as I was chatting up a lovely young lass at the quicksand, just to twip the nice and extra ilm. Mountebuck, charlatan! I'll find that so-called inspector and his sorry band and pull every last strand of hair from their bleeding skulls! Looks like Hildibrand made himself a big enemy. I'll take the 650. 658 gil is a really specific number, isn't it? Ryardin? Shades from Sildi? Living men turned to zombies? The old crone lost not just her son, but her wits as well. Hildibrand is onto something. Or at least he thinks he is.
It's all becoming clear to me now. That dear old woman's testimony has confirmed that which I had suspected from the start. Like a zombie picking away at its rotting flesh, Hildibrand, Agent of Inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, has peeled away the foul scab of uncertainty to reveal the truth within. Open your ears and feast your minds on the fruits of my flawless deduction. Our phantom thief is a phantom indeed, a wayward spirit caught between the realm of the living and the dead for nigh on centuries since meeting a tragic end on the battlefield. As such, our course of action is clear. We must placate this tortured soul so that it might abandon its vengeful vendetta and travel to the next life in peace. But what is the true nature of the specter's grievances? Without this knowledge, we cannot hope to assuage its rancor. Let us begin our search at the Thaumaturge's Guild. Doubtless the tomes there contain a wealth of knowledge on the ill blood between the sibling nations. Notwithstanding the abject stupidity of everything else that's come out of your mouth, some knowledge of Sildi might serve us well. Go research as you will, and do take as much time as you need. You can count on me, Inspector Riardian. Whatever knowledge is to be gleaned at the guild, it shall not escape my inspector's eye.
You want us to follow him? I'd be much obliged if you could keep him out of my way, Jake. I have some real investigating to do and would prefer to be free of distractions. Okay, sure. Let's just ride the chocobo because it'll be a little quicker there. Off to the Thaumaturgy Guild. I wonder which one of the... So if you have not really seen the Thaumaturgy Guild, there's a particular thing about the group of people. It should be over here, I think. All right. Yep, it is this way. So the Thaumaturgist then becomes the... Oh, hang on. You know what? No, I'll spend a minute or two just talking about this. So we have... Wait, hang on. Which one of these is the real one I need? Oh, I think it's Yaya Roku over there. We have Kokobuki, Guildmaster, Kokobezi, Kokobaha, Kokobago, and Kokobani. They're all wearing red hoods. Now, as someone who... there was an event known as the Runaway Guys Coliseum that happened not a long time ago, like a month or so ago. But one of the things they did was they had a Final Fantasy XIV Aetheryte race, and it was hilarious. Okay, gather information to the Thaumaturgist Guild. Oh, I'm supposed to talk to all these people. All right. You don't say. It's not every day someone comes to our halls to research Sildi. As a fellow student of history, though, I more than welcome the conversation. Baladian civilization flourished in relative peace until twin sons were born to the royal family. The two were fierce rivals, and when they came of age and their father passed, each one claimed that he was the rightful heir to the throne. With neither son willing to relinquish his claim, they agreed to split their kingdom into two, forming the twin nations of Ul'dah and Sildi. But not unlike the two proud princes, the sibling nations developed a penchant for rivalry. So, okay, where I was with the story. So, the Runaway Guys Coliseum, it was fun being around with, like, literally over 100 people, just following them around. And most importantly, one of the things they actually handed out to everyone, like a bunch of people, is that they handed out these robes here. These nice red robes. It's a reference to Lord Donator, who is an affably evil person. There's no other way of putting it. It was hilarious. Just imagine like hundreds of people wearing red robes, just following people everywhere. It was amazingly fun. Greetings, traveler. You would learn of the war between Ul'dah and the fallen Sultanate of Sildi? It would be my pleasure to enlighten you. The two city-states coexisted for several generations until the bad blood between them boiled over, culminating in outright war. As you might deduce from the present state of affairs, Ul'dah emerged victorious, leaving its once proud sibling nation in smoldering ruins. As the histories tell it, the battles fought between the sister nations were the stuff of nightmares. In a desperate attempt to overcome Ul'dah's superior numbers, Sildan alchemists devised a most horrific stratagem. Employing a frightful formula known as the traitor spurn, they brought their fallen warriors back as undead soldiers. Some theories have it that they even employed the potion on those of the living who were too weak or wounded to fight. Sent shivers up the spine just thinking about it, no? It is truly a crowning glory of our fair nation that our forebears were able to emerge victorious against these horrors. So yeah, the fun thing about running around with a bunch of red robes is that people somehow thought we were either A, part of the Lambs of Dalamud, or B, with these guys. But yeah, that was so much fun. Hope that happens again next year. Jake, don't surprise me like that. What's this? You're here not for your studies, but to learn of the bad blood between Ul'dah and Sildi? Two scales, one of gold and one of silver. The gold of Ul'dah weighing prosperity and power, the silver of Sildi weighing knowledge and power. But the power sought by the two nations differed greatly. Yes, greatly indeed. The power wrought by Ul'dah in prosperity was that of justice and good, while the power wrought by Sildan knowledge was horrific beyond belief. The power to rip the living soul out of a man and render him a mindless killing machine. On this matter, the histories are clear. But riddle me this, friend. Who writes the histories? And what does this say of the words writ within? Yes, truth can be elusive and fickle as the shifting sands. As one example, did you know that in the war against Sildi, Ul'dah and Amalja warriors fought side by side? Likely you did not, and neither did I, until I encountered a faded passage in an ancient text buried deep in our archives. And yet, in the histories read by the populace, you will see no mention of this most fascinating fact. Might it be that someone at some time deemed this particular truth less than convenient? But I have said enough already. Thanks, buddy. Well, I guess there's only one left, and he was right outside, and I should have talked to him. Because one of these will start, like, the Black Mage Guild stuff, and I don't want to, not Black Mage Guild stuff, further Black Mage leveling up, which I don't want to do quite yet. Naneko! Gods be good! You're the adventurer who saved me back at the ruins! Researching the ancient feud between Ul'dah and Sildi, are you? Why, I'm pleased to say I have more than a passing familiarity with ancient history. To understand the history of the Sildi nations, one must go back further still, to the birth of their mother nation, Belladia. The Fifth Astral Era was an age of untold wonders, when the arcane arts burgeoned and the great civilizations that commanded such powers flourished. This age of enlightenment will not last, however. Power bred avarice, and avarice bred resentment. It culminated in the War of the Magi, which brought the great floods of the Sixth Umbral Calamity, which in turn swallowed once proud nations and left a battered wasteland in its wake. Mages were reviled and persecuted for having caused this catastrophe, with many forced to leave their homelands or face death. It was a small band of those survivors that found their way to Thanalin, where they would found the nation of Belladia some 8 centuries agone. Ah, imagine! A government of mages, by mages, and for mages. What wonders might have been wrought had Belladian civilization survived to this very day. Alas, this was not to be. Alright, well, Hildibrand was right around this corner for some reason and just wasn't here.
My ever-loyal associate, tell me, what have you learned from your questioning of the scholars in these halls?
So, like, these one nations then became 2 nations, and Ul'dah killed the other.
Indeed. As it happens, I have learned much the same. Let us take a moment to review and allow my peerless powers of deduction to work their magic. A war of succession divides the great civilization of Belladia, giving rise to the sibling nations of Ul'dah and Sildi. The 2 nations coexist for some generations until ill blood boils over, culminating in outright war. Daunted by Ul'dah's superior military might, Sildi employs their advanced alchemical knowledge to horrific ends, transforming their own citizens, alive and dead, into a fearsome undead legion. Yes, I believe I have it. The facts at hand have led me to one unassailable conclusion. Our phantom thief is a descendant of doomed Sildi, who seeks vengeance against those who reduced his countrymen to slavering zombies. To pacify his soul and send him peacefully to the next world, there is but one course of action. We must find the Sildan statesman who conceived this dreadful stratagem, and have him apologize to the thief in person for the suffering he has wrought.
A brilliant plan. Perhaps you'd like to go find yourself a shovel and dig this statesman out of his grave yourself? Leaving aside this nonsense of spirits and specters, it appears increasingly likely that our quarry shares some link to Sildi. His garish garb is no doubt meant to evoke the silver scales of the fallen sultanate. This Sildan connection would also serve to explain the rare knowledge of Belladian artifacts our thief clearly possesses. But what of the murder victims? What common thread amongst them could have incurred the ire of our adversary? A few people in town spoke of a man sighted, called upon the victims in the past days. Those who saw him had a most frightful air about him.
Wait, yes, it is coming to me. Of course! My keen investigator senses ring out with a voice loud and clear. This man Miss Ellie speaks of just might know something.
You really should stop thinking so hard. You're likely to strain a brain muscle. Miss Ellie, who is this man and where might we find him? My sources identify the man as Guguria. Guguria? Weird names, man. A traveling merchant known to frequent Horizon. Shall we pay him a visit? All right. Speak with Guguria in Horizon, which should be right here. Yeah, we'll just take a teleport over there. And here he is. What you got to say, Hildibrand?
My keen instincts tell me that Master Guguraya's testimony will be key to a monumental breakthrough in our investigation. Yes, I shall employ the ancient Mandeville art of parley to skillfully extract the information we require.
Uh-huh. Yes? If you've got business, make it quick. My time's too valuable to waste chatting with every stranger who passes by. Forgive us, good sir. My name is Ellie. A reporter with the mithril eye. Never blinking, all-seeing, you know the rest. I was wondering if you could trouble me with just a few questions.
Was it for love or money that you killed them? Yes, you, the thief of many faces.
Me? A thief? What is this nonsense? I don't know who you are, but I ain't got time or the patience for this mummery. Now, if you'll excuse me, an important client awaits. I thought I recognized that voice.
Lady Terilda, well met indeed. Pray tell, whatever brings you to these environs this fair evening?
It's raining and it's a fair evening. What? Why, I live here, you ham-headed halfwit. Inspector Briardian, this is an unexpected pleasure. Do you have some business with my associate here? Pray tell. Gugaraya, we can discuss business after. Pray lend the inspector here, the handsome one, whatever assistance he requires. But Lady Terilda, what about... Ah, yes, my dear Maria's name day present. I had in mind one of the prize pieces from Esteem's latest seasonal collection. You would be able to procure one for me, yes? Or shall I eliminate the middleman and make the trip to Ul'dah myself? I'll say this just once more, Gugaraya. I expect you to give the inspector and his companions your full assistance. They, yes, even the stupid one, helped me regain something truly priceless. Yes, something more valuable than any mere trinket. All right, I'll tell you what I know, but you didn't hear it from me. Got it? I was looking into the killing on behalf of a client of mine. The thief's got himself some of that zombie dust, the traitor's spurn, was it? And his card speaks of 5 victims. It's got me thinking. Sildi, 5 victims. I, the Arbiters of Truth. Arbiters of Truth? I'm not familiar with the name. If you would be, on account of them being some of a secret society and all. Influential personages of the Sultanate, you see, working from the shadows to keep false knowledge about the Ul'dah-Sildi conflict from reaching the ears of folks like you and me.
False knowledge? Pray tell, just what sort of knowledge might that be?
False balls, don't make me say no more. I've got a family to feed. Very well, just tell us one last thing. Who hired you, and where can we find him? Hob! His name's Hob. When he heard what I said, he told me that he was going to sail for Limsa with his 5 best sellswords to guard his back. Said there were many prying eyes at the airship docks. Said he had a private ship docked and waiting for him at Vesper Bay. But remember, you didn't hear none of this from me. This man Hob must be one of the killer's targets. Doubtless he also knows the identity of the remaining one. I doubt that. They say the Arbiters are so secretive, they don't even know each other's true identities. Now, don't ask me how that all works, but... Hobbs got high-ranking friends in the brass blades. Once he's heard the victims have it all zombified, he panicked. Guess he knew that he'd be next.
Thank you very much, my kind sir. Once again, the ancient Mandeville art of parley has procured for us a key morsel of knowledge. Let us seek out this Hob fellow and see what he can share with us. And let us hurry. The man's life is in danger even as we speak.
Nod. Sigh.
I would hear what this Hob fellow has to say. Come, my ever-loyal associate, let us away to Vesper Bay with all speed.
We're already here. No, actually, no, we're not here there. I forgot. Vesper Bay's a little bit over here. All right, search for Hob in Vesper Bay. Howdy, halt! Uh-oh.
That doesn't seem good.
Master Hob? Is everything quite all right?
No! Stand back, Ellie!
Hunger. I hunger for your brains. Damn, there's no saving the man, Jake. Do what you must. As an archer. Oh, I don't even get to fight him. It's just that... Oh.
Yes, my first-hand knowledge of zombie tells me this particular shade of green is unmistakably that of the undead. 'Twould seem we were a few moments late to the scene.
Message, and then there was one. Shadowy figure, whom we already know what looks like, right?
There it is again.
Is something the matter, Inspector?
Indeed, Nashu, there is. Ever since I picked up the trail of the Phantom Thief, I've had this fleeting sense. A sense that someone or something is watching us.
The thief might be close at hand. We should be careful. For the moment, let us return and report our findings to Miss Phyllis. Secret society or no, knowing the identities of its members may yet lead us to the final victim. I, too, had best return to the Mithril Eye. Let's meet up again after... I'll see what new clues I can uncover in the meantime. You will do nothing of the sort, Miss Ellie. These streets are far too dangerous for you to walk alone. Inspector, I'll go with her.
If you insist, Nashu, then I give my leave. But pray be wary, not just of the thief, but of Miss Ellie. She has quite the temper, as we both know.
Such somber music after we knocked the zombie out flat on its back. Miss Ellie, there is something I must tell you when the case is over. Be safe and promise me that you will not attempt anything rash as you did that time when the fiend took aim at my own life. Your life, Inspector. I at Costa de Sol. Yes, that was quite the ordeal, wasn't it? I'll be careful, I promise. I eagerly await the day when I may hear what it is you would share with me.
A secret vow? Oh ho! Consider my interest piqued as well, good Inspector. Now let us be off. Miss Phyllis awaits our report.
Nod. Alright. Speak with Phyllis at Scholar's Walk, which is back in Ul'dah. Teleporting on top of a bird. Oh boy. Oh wait, I should probably warp over there. Table setter. Yeah, there are some really good titles. Alright, Husting Strip, which is going to be... It won't let me zoom in any further, so... Let's start here and wait. May not have wanted to do that particularly, but if I head down these stairs... I think this will lead me to where I need to go. Yes. So one of the things I can do for my character, if I can load that up, profile, I can change my acquired title that people will see. So I've gotten some new ones. Fashion Leader is super easy to get, relatively. Redeemed, Unbeliever, Bearer of the Torch, Keymaster, Chocobo Breeder. Gambler is like one of the easiest ones to get. Currently I have the Professional. Equipped, we have Warmonger, Archmage. If there's one that says Avatar, that is absolutely going to be going with. But yeah, the Professional is the one I currently have equipped. And we'll be using for basically the foreseeable future. I think I screwed something up. Alright, hang on. Ah, here we go. Alchemist Guild. I was right there, too. I'm an idiot. Alright, Humphrey, Hildibrand, and Phyllis. Some shifty-looking fellows was eyeing the vaults before, but he took off faster than a fleeing cactar as soon as my gaze met his. I, just like the cowed many a garland on the plains. Oh, it's you. Hildibrand.
The news of Hobbs' death will not sit well with Miss Phyllis, but a gentleman must do what a gentleman must do.
A fourth victim? Thal have mercy. Were you able to glean aught of a connection to the other victims? The Arbiters of Truth? No. It cannot be. Somebody help!
Miss Ellie? That voice came from the direction of the vault. We must hurry.
Uh-oh. Miss Ellie, are you hurt? That man. I only thought to ask him a few questions. Before I knew what was happening, he was upon me. I could only...
Bash his brains with a conveniently placed bottle of mead, it would seem. Haha, remind me not to get on your bad side, Miss Ellie. That said, is Nashu not with you?
She saw a figure lurking in the shadows and went off in pursuit before I could stop her. This man wears the armor of a Sultan-sworn squire, yet his face is unfamiliar to me. Something is amiss. Dun dun dun! We've captured our thief! The thief of many faces! To think we would find our man like this.
Thrice and again did the fiend elude our grasp, but no more, by virtue of a gentleman's ingenious deductions and a lady's pugilistic puissance, I declare this case closed. I return this sachet to you, Miss Phyllis. Whilst the gesture was appreciated, in the end it proved superfluous to my cracking of the case.
And oops! While you're at it, is there anything else of immense value that you'd like to wantonly destroy? But wait! What is the meaning of this? Ingenious. A double disguise, planted by the thief to throw us off his trail, no doubt. This is Guigyu, one of my most capable men. I assigned him to guard the vault and outfitted him with an ample supply of damasking dust. It is inconceivable that the thief could so easily elude his grasp.
Unless the thief was not wearing a mask. Speaking of which, has anyone seen Miss Ellie?
No, that's impossible!
Of course, it all makes sense. With the Phantom Thief to thank for her burgeoning readership and rise through the ranks of the Mithril Eye, Miss Ellie could not bear to face the possibility of her story of a lifetime coming to an end. Thus, she hatched a plan to...
My lady, the vault has been breached. The wise man's whisper. It's gone. For her foul crimes against the Sultanate, I hereby declare Ellie of the Mithril Eye, the thief of many faces, an enemy of the state. Deploy all troops and do not rest until she is in custody. And now the game is truly afoot.
Bah! What is the meaning of all this racket and rumpus? And just as we were about to make our triumphant return. Isn't that so, Enkidu?
Chicken noises. Uh-oh. Miss Ellie! Miss Ellie! That shadow you said you saw? I think it was just a dormouse. Uh-oh. To think he'd literally stumbled face first onto the second mask. His good fortune truly knows no end. But not to worry. Yes, I dare say the Phantom Thief has another trick or two up his sleeve. Dun, dun, dun! Sibling strife completed. On to the next quest. Give it a moment to load. Phyllis, how could we have been so blind? Priordian, when you've eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, is the truth. Very Sherlock Holmes. Not even the shockingest turn of events will deter the famed agent of inquiry.
My ever-loyal associate, we must find Miss Ellie, and quickly. Surely, if confronted by her constant companions, she can still be convinced to abandon this fool plan. Oh, Miss Phyllis, I thought you had already departed in the company of your men, but all for the better. Shall we conduct the search together?
I fear that would only put them at greater risk. You see, the fifth and final member of the Arbiters of Truth, the Phantom Thief's final target, is none other than...
Hildibrand Mander!
Me, mind you. It's not a role I sought of my own accord. My name and my passion for history are somewhat well known in the Sultanate. One day I received an anonymous letter stating that a position in the committee had opened, and I had been chosen to fill it. The letter went on to enumerate my duties to prevent the spread of historical lies that would sully the name of our illustrious nation. As a high-ranking officer in the Sultan Sworn, I was deemed to be in a particularly unique position to serve as an arbiter. I knew that there were other members of the organization, but was told nothing of their names or identities. To think that my unknown compatriots were the victims all along. I cannot put any more lives in danger. I will sequester myself in a place where my presence can cause no harm, until such time as the killer is apprehended.
Your concern for our well-being is most touching, Miss Phyllis, but there is no need for such caution. As a seasoned inspector, I am more than capable of protecting a lady in distress, and as a gentleman, that is exactly what I shall do. My associate here also stands at your side. Speaking of which, has anyone seen my loyal assistant?
Inspector, over here!
Ah, there you are, Nashu. You really shouldn't run off on your own like that. I was worried sick about you.
I'm sorry, Inspector. Miss Ellie said that she saw somebody in the shadows, so I went to take a look. Now, there wasn't anything there but a dormouse, but it was a really cute dormouse, you see? It just kept squeaking and scurrying away, and I just...
Pardon me for a moment, Nashu. Yes, my inspector senses speak to me. Someone is watching us, Shake. Let us split up and canvass our surroundings.
Well then. Where's Miss Ellie? Do you think she went looking for the dormouse too? Sure thing, Nashu. Apologies, Shake, but I require a moment alone with my thoughts. I cannot allow my presence to put my men in danger. Phyllis, alright. We need a search for evidence, starting right over here. Oh ho! A water-stained letter. A water-stained letter lies conspicuously on the floor.
Be wary and be warned.
Okay. That was weird. Over this way. Ooh, another one. A water-stained letter lies conspicuously on the floor. Trust no one, and your friends all the less. Ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy. Yep. This will avail you well. Use it wisely. You obtain a sachet of demasking dust. In the next instant, you feel an intimidating presence behind you.
Ho ho! If it isn't my beloved son's staunch companion, the mighty Jake. I was in the area on a matter of business, which I curtailed when I felt a suspicious presence from the shadows. Pursuing it led me here. Mayhap it is the same for you?
Well, at least he's got, the top half fully dressed. So we're trying to find a killer.
Oh, so your pursuit of the thief of many faces has taken quite the unexpected turn, and now you have come upon a series of anonymous letters. Mayhap our watcher in the shadows is a friend? Or is this but another trap laid by the fiend? Yes, the plot thickens like a dollop of salamander oil. In either event, I dare say that the circumstance calls for utmost caution. A thief could be anywhere, or anyone. Myself excluded, of course. No mere mask could replicate the physique of this Manderville man. That said, I fear my dear Hildy may be a bit over his head this time. Allow me to assist you in your investigation. Were anything to happen to Hildibrand, his dear mother would, not be pleased.
Alright. Speak with Godbert. Again. Okay, hold up. I just spoke to him. Why couldn't you just say this to me here? Any more words? Apologies, Jake, but okay. Behatted Sprat. Something just isn't right. Weren't you in a couple cutscenes in the background? Nope.
If the sender speaks true, the villain even now lurks within our midst. And yet, we have but a single sachet of demasking dust at our disposal. We must identify the imposter beyond reasonable doubt before we proceed. You know the players better than I, Jake. Let's say you have a few words with each of them and see if aught is amiss.
Miss Ellie is the Phantom Thief. It is the only logical conclusion, and yet I cannot help but feel that another truth still evades us. Am I doomed to share the same fate as the others? I'd sooner die than become one of those things. Nashu! You got some explaining to do. Inspector Boyardian told me all about it. Who'd have thunk Miss Ellie was the Phantom Thief all this time? She sure fooled me.
Nothing particularly odd about any of them, you say? It stands to reason the fiend would not take such a risk if he were not utterly confident that he could pull off the ruse.
Curses! This one's not half the fool his son is. I must elude him, and quickly. Time is of the essence.
I questioned the Sultanate sword outside. To a man, they insist they have seen naught of Miss Ellie. Wherever could she have gone? Father, what brings you here?
Yes, finally the pieces are coming together. Now, if you will kindly stand still and shut up, the fiend already stands among us.
Inspector Briardian, I should hope you are not doubting me.
While I'm quite convinced that even a master impersonator would struggle to recreate your particular brand of idiocy, the fact remains that anyone here who has spent enough, even a moment alone, must be considered a suspect. The thief has proven to be highly efficient at assuming new identities.
An astute observation, my gangly friend. I'd say this occasion calls for a dose or two of that powder Jake here found earlier. There wouldn't happen to be another sachet or two lying about, would there?
What remains of our supply has already been distributed to the search party, but worry not, they should be reporting back within a bell's time. Ha! Time might be against me, but just you watch. I'll wiggle my way out of this and turn you into the reeking, drooling corpse you deserve to be. I fear that is more time than we can afford, Miss Phyllis. Fortunately, my powers of deduction will lay the fiend's base bare within minutes.
We know that, given the choice, the thief prefers to impersonate familiar personages. As Miss Ellie has had only passing interactions with my dear father, we can safely eliminate him from consideration. That leaves myself, Nashu, and Jake here. Nashu and I, in particular, have had a close and extended relationship with our suspect. I shall begin by questioning my own assistant. I assure that no one knows her better than I.
But brilliant reasoning as ever, Inspector. Go on, ask me anything. Of all the times for this overstuffed buffoon to start talking sense, if he asks me anything too obscure, my cover is as good as blown.
My relationship with Nashu is so close, I dare say at times as if we share a mind. If this Nashu is truly my ever-loyal assistant, she should have no trouble completing my thoughts. Ahem. I'm a Manderville!
Man!
Doing what only a Manderville
can!
From the peaks of Kurthus to Thanalin, Manderville!
Man, you're the best, Inspector!
A perfect score! You may rest easy, dear friends. This is unmistakably, unequivocally, indubitably the true Nashu.
I've never loved you more than now, you marvelous muttonhead, you.
Nashu, is something the matter? Just because you picked up a few more wrinkles beneath the eyes, there's no need to avert that charming face of yours.
Wrinkles? Wrinkles? Look who's talking, you crusty, cretinous old... Genius, Inspector? Uh-oh. The charade is up, Miss Ellie. Nod, nod. I cast magic dust on you.
Oh dear. Miss Ellie, you look somehow different.
Well, we found out who's behind all of this, and she was our closest friend the whole time. So the letter spoke true. The fiend was in our midst all along. Hildibrand.
My prodigious power of deduction screamed out to me. This woman knows something.
Briardian. Another two-layered mask, mayhap? But no, this woman bears a striking resemblance to Miss Ellie. I was all but certain that Ellie was our thief. What is the meaning of this? Who is this unfamiliar woman, and what secrets does she hold? Oh, we have Glamour Dispeller coming from this one. All right. Seven hells. Done in by a muscle-bound muttonhead and his motley troop of mummers. Just who are you? Your resemblance to Miss Ellie is most uncanny, and yet... Consulting Inspector Briardian. Once again, you fail to measure up to your lofty reputation. Of course we resemble each other. Ellie is, after all, my own flesh and blood, my beloved sister, and my eminently capable partner in crime. 1,000 faces I may wear, but only one name do I bear. You can call me Cece. Charmed, I'm sure. Are you quite all right? Why, you look as if you've seen a ghost. Despite my moniker, I assure you that Ellie and I are no specters. What we are, mind you, are the last living scions of Sylvan aristocracy. Bemused, are you? Befuddled to find two sisters behind the mask? Try using your brains once in a while. Every time you encountered the thief, Ellie was standing right in your midst. No, the thief that's 4 times stole the show, oh, and those priceless relics, was me. Meanwhile, Ellie hid them in plain sight, supplying me with just the knowledge I need to stay one step ahead of my pursuers, all while spinning the hair-raising tales of my exploits that won the hearts of this nation. We owe a lot to you, truly. Why, without the tales of your hapless attempts to catch me, we could never have risen to the heights of celebrity, or never could have risen.
Miss Cece, from a gentleman to a lady, I would ask you one thing and only one thing only. Just what is it that you and Miss Ellie hope to accomplish with all of your schemes?
Justice! 400 years ago, Old Don dogs reduced our great nation to a nation of zombies. At long last, the cowards that would still justify these foul deeds will suffer the same fate. Wait, the history said it was Sildi that turned their own men into zombies. The histories lie! And you worked for from the shadows, silencing those who would speak the truth. You should have died with your fellows, false arbiter. It was Ul'dah that ordered the creation of that dreadful powder, and wielded it as a weapon against our proud ancestors. The history of your glorious sultanate is built on a lie.
What is this madness you speak, woman?
Not madness, truth. The powder in my possession was stolen from the Old Don army 4 centuries ago by one of my ancestors. They say it was his final act of courage in the moment before his legs fell off and his rotting head dropped from his shoulders. This is the truth that the histories don't tell. The truth that this doe-eyed sultan sworn would keep killed to keep buried deep in the sands of Thanlin. But your time of reckoning is nigh. Oh yes, before long you and everyone in this rotten nation will know firsthand the horrors my ancestors knew. Ah ha ha ha! And just what do you mean by that? Oh, how's the idiots lap up the stories? A masked crusader for justice, a dashing rebel waging battle against power and authority. Oh, if only they knew. But they will see soon enough, when they're eating each other's brains out on the streets. In the last days before our proud nation was razed to the ground, a band of the final survivors stole a vast quantity of the powder from the Old Don vaults, hiding it away in a secret vault sealed with powerful magics. The sole means by which the vault may be opened? By assembling 4 secret relics from Baladia. 4 relics once housed in the royal palace of Sildi, before the Old Don dogs stole them and claimed them for their own. And so it dawns upon you at last. Yes, even as we speak, Ellie makes for the vault, the 4 relics safely in hand. Just think, one day you'll be able to tell your grandchildren you were there when zombie powder rained down on Ul'dah. No wait, you'll all be dead. Ha ha ha! Preposterous! But first you, my dear, you will not even have the pleasure of looking upon the last moments of your precious homeland. Let your flesh rot like all of your rotten lies.
I think not, Miss Cece. Hildibrand!
You idiot! Just for once, could you not get in the way? Good God, Bert Manderville. I can't even trust your sorry ass to look after him for a day. Well, look who it is! I knew it! That presence watching over us from the shadows. It was you, my dear wife! Uh-oh. Bonk. Am I to understand that you are Hildibrand's mother?
Aye, this is more like it. Hand to hand, skillet to skillet. It's enough to send a warrior's pulse racing. Prepare yourself, Jake. The time of our final confrontation is nigh.
Ah, yeah, that music. That could be seen coming from a mile away. Oh, boy. Do you have popotos for brains, you overstuffed buffoon? My beloved boy's been turned into a stinking corpse if you haven't bloody noticed. You, Jake or something, was it? Hildy's told me all about your hijinks together. Pleased to meet you. Wonderful to meet you, Julianne. Please don't smack me. My dear boy's always had a bit of a rebellious streak. What can I say? I can come on a bit too strong at times. But can you blame me? This time I thought I'd sit back and leave things to my sorry-arse husband here, and look what that's got me. You'll help me out, won't ye? Nod. Very fast nodding. I don't want to get smacked. She seems so normal to be his mother. I mean, yeah, it's, that's kind of the joke, I suppose, is that a normal-looking woman has the strength to knock out like 5 men in a row. So yeah, there's Julian. I dare say it's quite clear who has the pants in the family, so to speak. Inspector Hildibrand's mother? All right, what do we got? Reunited with my dear boy for the first time in ages, and just look at him, he's green. Fortunately, there's still time to reverse the zombie curse, and I know just the remedy: a phial of holy water. The ingredients are simple: a tatter of oversoul rags and a phial of twice distilled water. Sid got at the market stocks for the former, and the latter you can procure from a trader by the name of Guest. Now hurry! Once the poison spreads throughout his veins, no antidote will save him. In the meantime, I will search for the bumbler's bumbling assistant. With any luck, Miss Nashi was still alive.
Ouch, that smarts. Ye gads, Hildy. You're looking none too hard to yourself.
No thanks to you, you bumbling oaf. Now, are you going to accompany Jake here and make yourself useful, or do I have to reintroduce you to that wall?
But of course, milady. Gilgamesh is ever at your service. Sid got sundries, was it? Come now, Jake. There is work to be done.
Yeah, Enkidu, you might want to run. All right, procure oversoul rags from Sitgotch. Sounds good. Gotta head to the merchant strip, which is... Actually, rather than go down the stairs, I'll just take a warp. Here we go. Merchant strip. There's a Sapphire Exchange. Weaver's Guild. Can't see the Sapphire Exchange. Oh, wait, hang on. That right there. There's so many icons in that one corner. So many people here, too. Wow. Da-da-da. There's Gilgamesh. Hey, Sitgot. Oversoul rags, you say? I fear I've only a single tatter left in stock, and it's already been spoken for.
But my good man, you must reconsider. My dear friend's life, and quite possibly my own as well, hangs in the balance.
I sympathize with your plight, friend, but a man has to make a living. I've been promised a copious supply of rare chimera membrane for these rags. Unless you can offer me the same, no deal.
God, you expect us to be able to summon such a rarity out of nowhere at a moment's notice?
Well, look who we have here, if it isn't the Warrior of Light from the Colosseum. Funny who you meet at the markets. Hey, you two. So yeah, Hildibrand's nearly dead. As it happens, I just returned from my training, and the slaying of 10 chimeras just happens to be my task for the day. If it's chimera membrane you seek, you're more than welcome to a share. Thanks.
My lady, you are far too kind.
Don't mention it. If it hadn't been for Inspector Hildibrand and Jake here, I'd still be tag teaming with that slimy beast and cheating my way to fame and fortune. Now I'm a woman who pays her debts. Thal, take me if that wasn't Avila the Tempest. Ever since she confessed to her trickery and started climbing back up from the bottom of the ranks, I've been proud to call myself one of her biggest fans. Why, I've half a mind to give you the rags you seek simply for the privilege of meeting her. Well, here's your chimera membrane.
A kind sentiment, my good man, but we are more than happy to uphold our side of the bargain, aren't we, Shake? With this, our task here is done. Now, let us find this traitor named Guest.
Alright, we need to go from here to Hustings Strip. Ah, yes, probably Chamber of Wool will be a little quicker. And in the chat, someone is advertising real money trade. This is why my camera is over the chat, so that way no one sees any of that, or the nightclubs, or any other disgusting stuff that happens. Whatever happens in Limsa Laminsa stays in Limsa Laminsa, if you get my gist. The blundering Manderville boy is on his last legs, and you need something of mine to save him, you say? Perhaps he can give you a good reason why I should care. Those bloody Mandervilles are richer than the traders themselves, yet they have the audacity to haggle me down to the last gill for every purchase. If the family line ended today, I'd be a happier and wealthy man. And now I believe the bathroom calls. Good day to you, and do pass along my condolences to the grieving parents.
Have you not a shred of honor or compassion in that spindly body? Business rival or no, the man is on death's doorstep.
After the event of that day, my father will not so easily forgive and forget. But it matters not to me. No, my love for you is as deep as the seven seas. I beg of you, milady, may I have this dance? Who are you? Oh, yes, these two. Hi! Jake, what a lovely surprise. Are you here for the ball, perchance? Heavens, the poor inspector. Well, if it isn't the Lapis Maiden in the flesh. What say you bid farewell to preening fops and scruffy adventurers and share a dance with a cultured gentleman befitting your great beauty? You are going to get slapped so hard. Why, it would be a pleasure and an honor both, my lord. Provided you first provide my good friend Jake with the bottle of twice distilled water that he seeks. Well? Well? You know this man? Bah, if that is the price you would set, then so be it. Take it. It's barely worth its weight in gill anyway. Now shall we, Miss Arabella? Gimme. Bow. Sagely nod? Yep, sagely nod.
I knew Hildy to be a worthy rival, but to think he was this beloved by so many. Clearly this realm would deeply mourn his loss. Quickly, Jake, let us deliver these goods while there is still time to save him.
Nod. Alright, we need to head back to upstairs, I think. This is a way to the Chamber of Rule. That's not going to help me out much. Oh, it's right over here, actually. Alright, quickly now. I trust the two of you wouldn't dare to come back empty-handed. Alright, tattered cloth taken from the raiment of a powerful wraith, and a second pass through an alembic has removed nearly all of the impurities once contained in this water. Bloody brilliant. I'd take you over my muscle-headed half-wit of a husband any day. I'll take your word for it. Now stand back and let me show you some real Manderville home cooking. Thal, you bloody bugger, guide my skillet. Matt's just making me hungry. Alright, that should stop the spread. Now it's up to Hildy to flush what's left out of his system. Don't worry, he's my son after all. I reckon he's still got some fight left in him. Look who I found. She was slumbering obliviously in a rubbish-strewn corner of Pearl Lane. Boy, did that nap feel good. Yes, I'm sure it did. Jake, word has it that Ellie has been sighted at the Sylvan ruins. We must go there with all haste. Nod. You've done well by my dear boy today. Don't worry, I'll handle things from here. There's a nice warm bed for him, and I think I know a few specialists who might know a thing or two about his condition. What in the seven hells are you standing around for? The future of Ul'dah is at stake!
Jake, my strength is yours as well, for Ul'dah and for our friend Hildy.
You remind me of my husband, what with you having more muscles than sense. If you're so keen on making yourself useful, why don't you run to the markets and bring me some fire crystals? Keeping my dear boy warm is key to fighting off the zombification. Let's see, I believe 20 crates or so should suffice.
I am a warrior, not an heir. Yes, milady.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to be on the other side of that frying pan, does he?
I say, Enkidu, the burden we must bear is simply to secure my long-awaited final confrontation with Jake. That said, the events of today have given me cause to reflect. Jake and Hildy both. Oh, to be blessed with such veritable legions of friends, tried and true. But alas, not I. No, only one true friend have I ever known, and she is long lost to me. You are a fine bird, and have given me great comforts in my travel, but you will never be Enkidu, my one and true companion. Oh, my friend, were you here with me, even Jake could not stand against our combined might. Oh, Enkidu, wherever you may wander, hear my words and return here to my side. Enkidu, do you hear me? Enkidu! Egads! What was that flash from the heavens? It nearly blinded me, and what? The crystals! Where have they gone?
Oh, did someone summon a prival? Fancy meeting you here, old friend.
That voice. Could it be? My faithful companion. Why must you always make me wait so?
All right, up next we have... Julian would send you on your way. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, we're getting the good stuff. What are you doing dilly-dallying around here? Let me jog your memory. There's a moonsick maid digging around at the Syldi excavation site with her mind setting on turning Ul'dah into the land of the walking dead. Your concern for Hildy is most touching, but don't you worry. Mommy Dearest isn't going to let her beloved son kick the bucket that easily. All right, speak with Phyllis at the Syldi... this is going to be... Hang on. Central Thanolin. All right, I can warp there easily enough. I just need to find a thing to warp from. There should be one over... Oh, hang on. Not the button I meant to click. Right over here. Central Thanolin, go! We're about to wrap this up. To me, Lakewind! My bird. No, really, he literally is my bird. If I can... Oh, I can't select him because I'm riding him, but trust me, his name is Lakewind. Phyllis! Oh, have you caught them? We've managed to track down Miss Ellie just up ahead, where your friends watch over her as we speak. Yet no matter how many times we try to reach out to her, she refuses to so much as answer. Needless to say, we consider physically incapacitating her. But that crate she's sitting on isn't just a makeshift chair. It's filled to the brim with the traitor's sperm. One misstep and the consequences could be dire indeed. You are our only hope, Jake. Even in her single-minded rage, surely the time you spent together must still count for something. You need not put yourself in undue danger. I only ask that you step forth to where your voice may be heard and call out your friend's name. I beg of you, Jake. Surely if anyone can convince the woman to abandon her madness, it is you. With the chat mode and say, use your keyboard or the software keyboard to call out Ellie and convince your erstwhile friend and companion to listen to reason. All right, little bit of chit-chatting. So yeah, it does this every now and then where you have to type in words. So right about here, Gilgamesh.
Oh, to think that the girl and her sister were behind the crimes all along. I dare say this realm is awash with capable adversaries.
Godbert, you do well not to anger the last friend. She's sitting atop an ample supply of that zombie powder, and I suspect she's not afraid to use it. Nashu! Miss Ellie, I thought we were friends. Ryardian, it Beggars belief that I could have been so blind. So from here, can I even see where the... Oh. Hey! Hi! You want to chat? No? Alright, sure. Alright, well, I'm going to stand here at this... Nope. Stand here and say... Come on. Ellie, that you can't see because my camera is blocking it. Jake, I suggest you leave this place while you still can. I bear you no grudge, but should you so much as think of interfering, I'll not hesitate to turn you into a zombie too. So it was you after all. Consider me disappointed. Your sister Cece is already in custody. Surrender now and I will see that no harm befalls her. How little you understand us, Inspector. Then again, how could one born into a life of power and privilege ever hope to understand? Cece and I have no family, no friends, no fortune, nothing. Two sisters against the world with only our quest for justice to give us meaning. Long ago we made a vow. Should the worst happen, our mission takes priority over all. Yes, over our own wretched lives. Do you see now? Anything I might have once had to lose, I lost long ago. Now stand down or suffer the same fate as the old Don dogs you would defend. Ellie, stop this madness! I'm sorry, Inspector. Oh boy! There's too many of them! Okay. All in a day's work for a Mandeville man, and now it's hammer time! Alright, this is getting very silly anime. Oh boy. The silliness of it all. You only delay the inevitable. I have an entire legion of the undead at my beck and call. Face it, it's only with Inspector Hildibrand's ridiculously good fortune that you even made it this far. And he's as good as 6 fulms under. Be forewarned, girl. Know that I speak from experience when I say, underestimate Hildy, and you do so at your own peril. I'm afraid you underestimate me as well. No mere splash of holy water can stave off the effects of the traitor's spurn. I fear the good inspector's luck has finally run out. Those balls, is there no end to them? I'm not liking our chances. Greg, was it? It's a shame to lose you, Jake. Warrior of light that you are, you might yet have served one last purpose for us. Go forth, my zombie minions! Darkness falls and hope fades to despair. 4 warriors born of light shall descend in righteous glare. Bugger me with a broadsword. Are my eyes to be believed? The pose. No, these are not 4 warriors of light that I see. They are 4 gentlemen of light. That is some rapid blinking. That is some very rapid blinking.
Just so, my good man, Hildibrand, agent of inquiry, inspector extraordinaire, has made his triumphant return. Did you miss me?
That's where the shining came from. Hi, we meet again, girl. Tell me you've got my Snervic tonic, or I'll fashion myself a wig from your lovely locks after I've ripped them clean from your bloody head. Oh, hello there, Mr. Eleazar. Corey, you're looking absolutely resplendent today. Impossible. The holy water couldn't have cured him.
It didn't. Fortunately, our overlord spent quite some time building up an immunity to zombie powder.
When we heard that Master Zombiebrand was at risk of joining the actual dead, we knew we had to take action. And immunity to... I'm just going to pretend that makes any kind of sense. This is so very silly. I love it.
The game is up, Miss Ellie. Pray abandon this madness. Besides, plots of mass murder hardly suit a lady like yourself.
It's over. It's all over. Inspector Briardian, you said there was something you would tell me when all was through. I imagine you have no words for me now. Ellie, your powers of deduction are wanting. You said that you had lost everything and everyone you had to lose, did you not? As for me, I have found something, someone with whom I intend never to part. I care not if it takes years, even decades. When you emerge from your gaol cell a free woman, I will be there. What say you?
Miss Ellie, while the crimes perpetrated by you and your sister are unpardonable, you are far from the only ones guilty. On behalf of the Syndicate, I offer my apologies for the false aspirations cast upon your ancestors. You said that the nation of Ul'dah was built on lies. Seeing what I have seen today, I cannot deny your words. It will not be an easy task to rewrite, nay, restore history. But know this, I will do everything in my power to bring the truth to the fore.
The zombies are just cheering on that one dude. Well, Gilgamesh? You got something to say, pal?
Ahem. Are we not forgetting someone here? And by someone, I mean me. If you're quite done playing cloak and dagger, I require Jake's presence for a matter of far greater importance. Aye, the time of our too long-delayed confrontation is nigh.
Do I have to?
Why, the long-faced friend. Ah, but mayhap this will have you singing a happier tune. Oh! Could it be? The treaty blade, and the true one at that. None other, and I have not the slightest intention of parting with it, save to the one who would defeat me in single combat. But I must speak. It will not be single combat this time.
Is that my cue, old friend? Oh dear. Well, this looks a lot like Gerudo, except it's not quite Gerudo. Oh boy. That fall be merciful. What is that abomination? Some new breed of void scent?
Abomination? I'll thank you to address my companion with courtesy, girl. But 'twas the most curious thing. There I was, hauling a crate of crystals for Hildy's mother, and thinking how much better things would be if my dear friend Enkidu were here. Then came a flash from the heavens, and the next thing I knew, there she was! By the gods, it makes perfect sense. Doubtless the crystals heard Greg's heartfelt plea, summoning forth his friend. Nay, no mere friend, but rather the primal Enkidu.
And the world has now completely and utterly ceased to be bound by the laws of logic.
Jake, you may have bested me in the past, but facing the two of us together will not prove so easy a task. And yet, I trust you will not shirk from the challenge. I, Enkidu, and I shall await you at Ampador Keep. Tis a waifs from here, but what better venue for our climactic confrontation? If you would claim the treaty blade, then claim it for me as a warrior. To the skies, Enkidu! To the skies!
Great! Great, I thought it was done with these trials.
Two against one, that's a very gentleman of you, Greg. Come, Jake, to Ampador!
This is a grave development indeed. To think that one man can summon a primal on his own. I must send word to the Scions at once. Blah, 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 blah. Yak, 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 yak. Oh, but of course, I had nearly forgotten we had a warrior of light in our very midst. Please, Jake, you are our only hope to slay the primal and reclaim the blade. Well, okay. Y'all got last words? Julian? All's well that ends well, eh, Jake? Hildy's undead acquaintances were kind enough to make an appearance at my request. Who'd have thought zombies could be such gentlemen? I reckon it must be my son's good influence. Godbert?
Oh, I knew that if anything could bring Hildy back from the undead, it would be my dear wife's hand-mixed holy water. That's world-class culinarian I married.
Priordian? And with that, my work here is done. You are by far the least incompetent associate I encountered in my travels. For preserving some shred of my sanity, you have my thanks. That said, my time in this land was not a total loss. My experiences here have taught me an important lesson, that this world and the fools who populate it rarely, if ever, abide by the principles of logic. This should serve me well in my future cases. And most importantly of all, I leave here with a vow that has given my life new meaning. But this is no time for sentiment. Nashu? Look at the Inspector go. I'm right behind you, Inspector. Could you keep it down, Brass Blade? I'm trying to talk here. Ellie! I said, Ellie! Fine, I'll dismiss my wind-up. I'm sorry for deceiving you, Jake. For what it's worth, it wasn't personal. Phyllis! After 400 years, this might very well spell the end for the Arbiters of Truth. Whether or not to replace the Fallen is a decision for my superiors to make. In either event, I have decided to renounce my position. I thought they were but white lies, but I have seen firsthand the suffering they can cause. Cece, Ellie, forgive me. Humphrey, the Gentleman of Light. Of course, they were every bit as radiant as I pegged them to be. One day I'll be a hero myself. Just you watch. Well, time to go to Ampador Keep, which is going to be in the Black Shroud. Oh boy. I don't think I've actually done this dungeon, and I hope I'm going to be able to do this. All right. To Ampador Keep. Should be right over here. Hildibrand, why am I not surprised to see you like this?
Ahem! Is that you, Jake? Pray forgive me. I was right on Greg's trail when I encountered the subterranean curiosity that demanded my immediate attention. I will be concluding my investigation forthwith, but in the meantime, might I trouble you to entertain Greg and his primal friend in my stead? Together we will reclaim the treaty blade from that knave, Jake. Yes, just go on ahead. I'll be wrong directly.
Battle in the Big Keep, now accessible. Duty Finder has been updated with a new regular duty. And that's going to be another trial, isn't it? Battle in the Big Keep. There we go. I'm going to swap to White Mage or Scholar. I should probably stick with Scholar. All right. So, yeah, more waiting. This is going to be fun. Q is popped. Let's commence. I have a guide with me here, so... Okay, yeah, there's a lot to this fight. It's like 2 halves for this fight. This is gonna get weird if the last DPS would finally click OK. Thank you. Thank you. Let's talk with the party. At long last, we meet again on the battlefield. I dare say Enkidu shall come to enjoy our tussles as much as I. You, however, might not find this one so enjoyable, unless you enjoy getting pounded senseless. Ha! Alright, here we go! Yep. Summon. Alright, take down Enkidu. Let's get some healing out here. Get some of this. Does that heal? Ow, that hurt. Alright, tether it. Mix it together. There we go. Alright, keep an eye on everyone's health. This is really tricky. Uh-oh, mini tornadoes, mini tornadoes. Alright, let's just do this. Make sure that keeps going. Numerous chickens. Oh, that person's gonna need a heal. Alright. Nope. Enkidu. Enkidu. That's not Enkidu. Alright, we need Sucker right now. Try that again. Oh! Oh, snap. We need a res. We need a res right now. And I'm a chicken. Alright. So I need to run into these mini tornadoes that will knock me up, but do no damage. Run into the tornado, do no damage. Yep. I'm still a chicken for 3 seconds. 2, 1. Alright. Get a res up quick. Alright. Uh-oh. Alright, try and get a res quickly. Oh, maybe. Oh no, 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 no. Get out of that no-no zone. As much healing as I can in, and then more of this. Fight on, Enkidu, my ever faithful. Enkidu, the bonds of friendship so fragile. Me? Run away? Ha! I was seeking out a more suitable spot to celebrate my inevitable victory. But enough exposition. Now we fight like men and ladies who dress like men. For Gilgamesh, it is transmogrifying time. You get no, I think they just started it off without me. Oh boy, this is a big boy. Fakir Hall is sealed off. I think they started this without me. The mightiest warrior ever to grace yours who stands before you, by which I mean I, Gilgamesh. Prepare yourself. They didn't have the heart to wait 20 seconds for me, huh? Yes. All right, just get some healings off as quickly as I can. Oh, we need chain that. There we go. All right, let's get a nice heal going. All right, focus that target, and then do this. Oh, stand away. Yeah, that rockin' music, baby. All right, I need to take down one of the dragon heads. Oh, they've all focused me for some reason. Got to take one of these down. There we go. Not that one. Let's do this one. All right. Let's just. Uh-oh. Heal. We're doing good. We're taking these down one at a time. All right. He's gonna do his thing. Oh boy, that is a weird pattern. It has been so long since I've actually played Scholar. Uh-oh. No, that's not what I want. All right. Then run here to the center. Get a nice full heal on everybody.
No, the mighty Gilgamesh will not be defeated.
Oh, dear. That is a crazy... Oh, boy. These patterns are nuts. But we're doing pretty good. Alright. Here in the center. Because after this, everyone gets nice and close. Okay, Iron Chain, take care of that quickly. Quickly, quickly. Do not want our healers being down. Alright. I might be able to just break through them. Oh, someone's using a limit break on them. I should not be using my limit break because I'm the healer, because reasons. And... he down. Boom.
To think that my full complement of arms would avail me not.
That's the power of literature.
No more hijinks from Gilgamesh. You have my word. The treaty blade, too, I shall return, just as soon as I remember where I hid it.
Oh, no.
Anyway, I yield to your unparalleled puissance.
Spare my insignificant life, I beg of you. Nod. Yeah. Alright, loot. Oh, I want Enkidu. Need. I got it. Alright, player combinations. Yeah, we got the Red Mage. Sure.
Never again, thus do I solemnly swear.
Oh, I received the player combination. Neat.
Not! Ha! I lied again. Like a rug. Oh, I'd kill me. You can take the fusty old blade for all I care. I thirst for true power, and not save the strongest swords will suffice. Warrior of Light, you have proven a worthy opponent, but I warn you, treasure every moment with your weapon. For as sure as day follows night, the hour will come when I claim it as mine own. until we meet again.
Alright. Hildibrand, look what I have. A chicken. And a faded copy of Battle on Big Bridge. Oh, I can do something with that, probably.
What ho, Shake? Have you seen Greg and his oversized avian companion? Lead me to them at once, and we shall deliver the coup de grace together.
I already killed them, buddy. Sorry.
The battle's already been won? That is triumphant news indeed. Clearly the lessons you have learned from me have not been for naught. And what's this, you say? The treaty blade lies hidden somewhere in the nearby wood? Worry not, my ever-loyal associate, for no buried treasure will escape the keen eye of Hildibrand, agent of inquiry and inspector extraordinaire. Now, which way was the forest again?
You're surrounded by it, dimwit. We got Sultan Sworn, we got all the people coming up. Jake, what news of the Primal and the Treaty Blade? So the Primal's dead, the Treaty Blade's hiding around here somewhere. Remarkable. I knew the Warrior of Light would emerge triumphant. Let us hope that Inspector Hildibrand enjoys similar success in finding the blade.
Such design, such craftsmanship. At once bold and powerful, yet sensitive and refined. I believe I found the inspiration for my next masterpiece.
Of course they're beautiful. They were the greatest treasure of lost Sildi. To think that they were locked away in the vaults of those that destroyed our homeland and dragged our ancestors' name through the mud. And just how did you come to know of these long-lost relics? There was an ancient scroll passed down in our family, left to us by our dear grandmother. It spoke of the 4 warriors of light, their 4 relics, and an incantation of untold power. If we could have wielded this magic of legend, Ellie and I might still have had the last laugh. Alas, speak the words has no effect. Only a warrior of light can wield the power, or so the legend goes. Ah, what I wouldn't have given to see it. The ultimate achievement of the greatest mages this realm has ever known. And just what sort of incantation is this? The ring cast open the door of justice. The wise man whispers a verdict true. Azema's virtue shines down from the heavens. To complete the incantation, the warrior of light would then hold forth the treaty blade and speak, "Blade in hand, I swear unto you." The legends differ as to what happens next, but all speak of a great holy radiance shining down from the heavens.
Over here, friends! Hildibrand, agent of inquiry and inspector extraordinaire, returned with tidings most triumphant.
Careful with that sword! It's not a toy! Oh, man.
Behold, safe in my hands, none other than the treaty blade, and the real one this time, I swear unto you.
Yes, yes, just like that. I swear unto you, then...
My word, whatever is this odd tingling sensation?
Ridiculous! Hildibrand isn't a warrior of light! He's just some fool who thought he could stop the Lesser Moon with his own bare hands! It would seem the Treaty Blade is just as confused as the rest of us. No, the light! Somebody stop it! I won't stand to see the legendary power of our forefathers wielded by this muscle-bound buffoon! Well, looks like he truly is a hero. Oh boy! Skyward ho! Looks like Team Hildibrand's blasting off again. Well, I dare say that proved to be a most useful incantation indeed. And so the light of justice that shone from the treaty blade banished the shadow, returning peace to the land. So the legend ended. I must say, I never expected to be quite literally a beam of light. I suppose it wouldn't have been much use to us after all. Inspector! Oh, Inspector! Wait for me! False balls, Hildy. First you almost died at your poor mother's feet, and now you're flying off to God's nowhere without even giving her a kiss goodbye. It's a good thing he's indestructible. Yeah, very much so.
Ho ho ho! It appears that a case of wanderlust has once again struck Hildibrand, as it has many a Mandeville man before him. Godspeed, my boy. When the day comes that you tire of mystery solving, your dear old man will be here to pass on to you the family art.
So in the end, the Sylvan incantation of legend was wielded not by a warrior of light, but a gentleman of light. Well, the treaty blade is some 6 centuries old after all. Perhaps it's not quite as sharp as it used to be.
I need to get rid of that hat for Scholar.
I know it's appropriate, but come on, something a little better than that. The magic that brought peace and happiness to the people of Belladia, it was every bit as beautiful as I imagined. To think I would see it with my own eyes, it's nothing short of a dream come true. He bumbles and stumbles through yet another case, and still he manages to make a girl's dream come true. A gentleman to the end, the bloody bastard. As the ether dissipates over the sky. And there he goes!
What's this? A glint in the corner of my eye. A curious scent wafting in on the winds from a far-flung land. Do I smell a case? Were not for me, my friends, for when the wronged wants for succor, I, Hildibrand, shall be there till we meet again.
Having something burning that close to your crown jewels is a bad idea. I would imagine so, but then again, he is indestructible. Give me all that good stuff. Wait for it to load. Ah, yes. Very anime ending. Da, 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 da. They're all doing the Manderville. Hildibrand will return. He does, in fact, once I complete the Heavensward campaign, which that is going to take me a while, not going to lie. Ibbity ibbity, that's all, folks? I'm guessing. A new chapter of New Game Plus has been added. I'll be there for you. Which is all well and good. Let's take a look at the Wind-Up Gentleman. If Clockwork Hildibrand doesn't quite roll off the tongue, both Minion of Inquiry and Mammoth Extraordinaire are acceptable alternatives. That is one of the best minions for Lord of Verminion in the entire game. Let's summon him real quick. That's Mount. No. Oh, gods. No. Oh, also we have Enkidu. Let's summon her first. Legend has it that Gilgamesh first found Enkidu while searching for a meal. Without the means to make a fire, he attempted to eat the fowl raw, only to find himself the victim of a furious counterattack. Impressed by the bird's tenacity, he promptly made him his pet. Yep, so there it is. There's Enkidu. Little chicken. But more importantly than all of that, we have Hildibrand. Summoned. So his ability, if I click on this button, Edit Minion Hotbar, I'll just toss him over to here. Increase attack and defense of all allies within range by 40. The action party is immediately withdrawn from the playing field after execution. But he has 4-star in speed. His strengths are up against Gates and Search Eyes, but whatever. The fact that he's fast and powerful is super useful. But yeah, I believe I also got some new gear. Let me check. Or let me just sort by this. Somewhere it's around here. I know I have it. So, wait, I spotted out of the corner of my eye. The Mandeville Coatee and should be Mandeville Pants, I think? Mandeville Bottoms. Yep, there we go. Let me just check. Let's just equip these to be a little better. Yeah, there we go. In the hands, we'll just fingerless gloves of some sort. Ah, yeah. I'm looking snazzy. But yeah, that has been all the A Realm Reborn quests involving the Manderville. Look how derpy he is. It's so awesome. All right. I'm off to New Gardana to continue my playthrough on my own time.